Let's go over some strategies on how to run the 400. These strategies that I'm giving is how I teach it. There is different ways to do it, but I'm going to teach you my way, and you're going to see and you can build off of it, take anything that you like from it. As you can see, we're in lane 3 of the track, and when you start your races, you always want to start out fast, all right? And for those that are good at 400, you're going to start out in the block, all right? So your block, this should actually point at the crown of the curve in your lane, all right? So if I was in lane 3, I would point my starting block right about here, so it puts me inside of the lane when I'm going around the curve. So this is the point where you're at the top of the curve. Right now, you're already into the curve. When you're running the curve, your outside arm should come in and your inside arm should stay straight. So it's gonna be looking like this right here as you lean into the curve. Especially the more force and velocity and speed that you have, you're gonna have to lean a little bit more than others, especially if you're in the inside lane. This is also the spot where you want to be running as fast as you can as you get to the top of the curve. Now, as you start to run downhill from the curve, which I call it, this is not even the end of the 100. The end of the 100 is where you see that third hurdle back there. But as you come downhill off the top of the curve, this is where you're gonna be able to slingshot off of the curve, and it's gonna accelerate you into the straightaway. But unlike the other straightaway, which I'll teach you next, or well, later in this video, this slingshot is going to lead you into your stride. You want to keep your foot speed, but you're going to slow down your arm movement, okay? All right, this line right here marks the end of the curve. This is the 300-meter mark. This marks the end of the curve. This is your first 100 meters. You want to sprint and then come to this mark off the slingshot. And now you want to slow down your arms, keep your foot speed, and breathe constantly. All right, here marks the beginning of the 200 meters. At the beginning of the 200 meters, you're gonna start a long build-up to the top of the curve. Then you're gonna be at full speed at the top of the curve, and then I'm gonna show you the golden area of the 400 meters where you need to be the fastest at, and it's gonna create an advantage for you going into the last 100 meters of the 400-meter race. All right, this last little area of the exchange zone for the 4x1, from the small triangle to the big triangle, is going to be your biggest area where you're going to be able to create an advantage for you in the 400 meters. The thing is, you have to, again, when you're running around the curve, the inside arm is going to stay straight, the outside arm is coming in. All right, if you stick to the inside of the curve, so let's say this is your lane, if you stick to the inside of the curve, when you come off of it and stay on the inside, it's gonna slingshot you forward, and that's where your speed is gonna come from and momentum. The last 100 meters is all form, all right? You're gonna be able to tell if who's been conditioned and who's been out here just playing around, all right? But just make sure you keep your arms going and keep your knees up and have that dorsiflexion in your ankle. So this is plantar flexion and this is dorsiflexion. So make sure you have dorsiflexion, keeping your heels slightly off of the ground and actually making contact with the ball of your foot as you sprint. You want to push the ground behind you as you are entering the last phase of the 400 meters, and always run through the line. Don't run to the line, but run through the line. And that's the 400-meter strategy. All right, so that's the end of the 400-meter strategy video. Let me know if you have any questions. Follow me at A-Rush Sports on all social media platforms, and I'm at arushonline.com on the internet. Let's get it.